Everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about conditional statements in web technology. So, what is a conditional statement? So, conditional statements are used to perform different actions based on the different conditions. So, very often when you write code, you want to perform different actions for different decisions. So you can use control statement in your code to do all these things. So in JavaScript, we have the following conditional statements like if to specify a block of code to be executed, if a specific condition is true, then it will execute these statements. Using else to specify the block of code to be executed. If the same condition is false, it goes to the statement 2. When using else if to specify a new condition to test, if the first condition is false, it goes to another checking process. So after that, it will have some second and third statements. So based on that, it will be working. And switch statement specifies many alternative blocks of code to be executed. So for example, if we are using a calculator, so we give the values. So two or more values we will give as an input. So based on the operation specified, it will switch over the operations. So based on the operations, it will perform the task and it will supply the resultant value. So if statement. So using if statement to specify a block of JavaScript code to be executed if a condition is true. So it will have a keyword if and it will have a condition. So if the condition is true, it will execute the inner code, that is statement. For example, we are here we are having displaying a good day if the hour is less than 18. So we are currently checking with the conditions like we are getting the data of current time. So based on the hours, it will display the good or bad, like that it will be displaying. So for example, if condition, inside if condition, new we are getting the date and getting the hours. If the hour is less than 18, it will display good day, or else it will come out of the loop. In this example, we are displaying whether it is a good day or bad day based on the hours. So we have 24 hours. So if the value will be less than 18, it will display it as good day, or else it will come out of the loop. For in this example, we are just giving a new date function. So it will get the function. New date function will have all the parameters like current hour, day, and time will be displayed in that. Based on that, we are uh, getting using the function get hours. So get hours, if it will get the hours from date, then we are checking with the condition like if it is less than 18 hours, so we have to display it as good day. So for example, in output, we are getting it as good day. So the condition gets true. So the current hour is less than 18, so it is displaying it as uh, good day. Then else statement. So when we go to else statement, if the condition is false, then if condition is false, then we go to else statement. For example, if we are having an if statement, then condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the statement 1. If the condition is false, it will automatically call the else statement block and it will display the statement 2. For else statement, we are having same hours. We are whether it is a good day or not. So in this statement, so if it is checking the hour, so while getting the data from data function, and it will use the get hour function. So based on that hour, if it is less than 18, it will print it as good day. If it is greater than 18 hours, it will be printing good evening. So in this example, we are having checking with the current time. Based on that, it will display it as good day because it is less than 18. Then else if condition. So when we go for else if condition, so some of the condition, for example, it is a nested condition. Use the else if statement to specify a new condition if the first condition is false or true. So in example, we are checking with the condition, first condition. If it is executed as true, then it goes to the second condition for checking with the second condition. So second condition will be checked. If the second condition is true, it will execute the statement 2, or else it will goes to else statement and it will display the statement 3. So for example, we are having same process. uh, we are checking with the hours. So based on that, it will display good morning or good day or good evening. So based on that, first what it is checking means it is. So in elif statement, we are getting the date, and using that we get hours, and based on that we are checking with the time. So if the first condition will be the time is less than 10. So if the time is less than 10, then the given value, it will check whether it is true or false, it will be executing. So for example, if I am giving it as the current time will be 11, then the first condition gets false. It enters into elif statement, second condition. So it will check with the second condition that 11 less than 20. So the conditions become true. So it will execute the statement 1. So a good day will be displayed here. If for the conditions, if it is greater than 20, then it will check with the condition, second condition. Then the condition will become false and it goes to else statement, and then it will print it as good evening. So switch statement is used to select one of many code blocks to be executed. So for example, in syntax, we are having switch, then we have an expression. So based on the expressions, it will select the cases. So in this switch statement, we have the example as we are getting a date function. So using that, we check with the day. So if the current day is Tuesday, it will check with the cases. So Tuesday equal to Sunday, it gets false. So it will check with the second case. So Tuesday equal to Monday, no, it won't. It will become false. Then check with the case 2. So Tuesday equal to Tuesday. So if the conditions is true, it will reply. It will come out of the loop and display the result as an output. So Tuesday equal to Tuesday, so it will display the result as today is Tuesday. Thank you everyone.